I wonder if I should call this Therion rising or the Hydra rising. As you might know, Therion means beast, like the beast of Revelation. A Hydra is a Therion, but a Hydra, once one of the heads gets struck off, two more grow back. Which I was absolutely stunned. I thought I'd get maybe two. I thought I'd get one. It would be me and another idiot talking. Although none of the people who were on there were idiots by any stretch of the imagination. We had people from a very wide range, ethnically, genderly, religiously, very wide spectrum. And there was 7 people, which I did not expect that much. I mean, I just kept adding calls. I just kept adding conference calls. It got so full, I think a couple people didn't even make it in. And some people tried to sidetrack it or inadvertently sidetracked into other things. But here is the thing. This will be part of my campaign. This will be a video that's part of the My Campaign series. We had the first just meeting of talking about it. I already laid out the criteria to show no. Vitriolic hatred in the name of Christ has nothing to do with Christianity. And for those who love to quote the Old Testament, the New Testament destroys the Old Testament, and there's countless verses that show that we're to meet people with compassion and love, not to berate people, not to judge people, not to heap abuse on people. And what are we going to achieve? Well, one of the things that I had said early on in the 3-hour dialogue that I've had with 6 other people was, if there's the slightest chance that a 13-year-old or 14-year-old homosexual would not blow their brains out because they grew up in a place like Wheaton, Illinois, even if I don't know about it, it would be worth it. Or if someone being abused by a self-proclaimed Christian, mocking them, threatening them, proselytizing, threatening them with an eternal hell, calling them a sinner and a liar and deserving the worst torments. And if any one of us can jump in and say, whoa, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with Christianity, why don't you stop bothering that person? Apologize to the atheist or anti-theist and say, look, just read the New Testament. Read it for yourself if you like. These people are not representative of New Testament, not only theology, but also of conduct. And neither are they representative of the first 3 centuries or anything that could look like anything that's Christian. It'll be worth it. To force the proselytizers who use the way of the Master to show us where in the entirety of the New Testament you have anything that looks like listing someone's sins off, condemning them of the sins and saying that they deserve hell. Such a thing does not happen in the New Testament. But that a Christian who calls himself a Christian, who is proud enough to say that they are Christian, should also be bearing the fruits of the Holy Spirit, which do not contain malice or judgment or anger or wrath or any of these things. As I had said, there is no proofs, no logical proofs. This is why it irritates me when Christians try to debate the existence of God. I took a philosophy class in college, and I think every single one of the philosophical proofs for God fails horribly. For me, it's experiential, and it's based on love. And that's it. There's nothing more than that. Can't prove it. Can't even convey it to somebody else. So this is what me and the rest of the people who said that they were in my campaign is about. I also said never defend yourself. If you get in a tangle with one of these proselytizers, stop, shut up, and contact me. And I'm telling them to all send me their, just write my campaign, send it to me. Just so we at least have a network of just, I'm part of it, so 7 people in full. And let the other person defend. And don't be defensive. Ask questions, be interested. Really like the person, be interested in the person. Can you please show me where this person is damned to hell in the New Testament? What are they doing that's damning them to hell? I'm also just wondering what the basis is for you to say this. Do it with total politeness, total love. Because remember, we're not there to destroy the person. We also view the proselytizers as victims, just as much as the people getting ripped on. Because these people usually operate out of a fear of death or out of some form of jealousy. Oh, see, the atheists can have as much sex as they want, but we can't. Or, you know, the homosexuals, they're just indulging in these things, whereas, you know, we abstain from them. I'm heterosexual. I had talked to a homosexual who is just like me, has never desired a woman. I've never desired a man. In fact, women look too good to me. I probably commit more lustful, horrible sins than any homosexual I've ever met. Just in my mind, just fantasizing about it. So I don't know the threat that gay people pose. I don't know it. I just figure, hey, I wish all guys were gay. That'd be fantastic. More women for me, you know. But no defensiveness, total love towards the person, and just asking them to explain, well, what does this Bible verse mean? Doesn't this Bible verse say that you can't act like that? I mean, how do you interpret it? I could be wrong, but how do you interpret it? Basically, I have learned this technique by dealing with the cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, and some of the more out there cults. So that's the technique that we're going to use. We're going to have more meetings. If you already went to one, that's fine. There's a few people that I want to come back. So there's newcomers. Newcomers are always welcome and wanted. There'll be another meeting in a week or maybe less, even if I'm the only one on there, just to spread this out so we get a wider and wider network. So when we see people spreading abuse and hatred and fear in the name of Christ, we can come in, have one person asking questions of the proselytizer, and have another person talking to the anti-theist. And we even had a former anti-theist, very atheistic person there on our side, because the goal isn't to convert people to Christianity, to get people to come to orthodoxy. The goal is to stop people spreading vile, homophobic, bigoted, fearful, hateful abuse in the name of Christ. Let's just cut that out. If we stop that, that's a goal in and of itself. If we can slow that down, if we can obstruct that, that'll be good enough. So that's the tactic, and that's the goal. It'll be expanded on later. Please join us at our forums. There will be more in the future. And I do want some of the people who were there tonight to be there the next time with me, in case I forget anything. And I also think they have many good things to add. Peace to you. May God save Serbia and Syria. This is going out to anyone of any background. Theist, atheist, Eastern Orthodox, anti-theist, Wiccan, Catholic, anyone. If you don't like abuse and hatred and bigotry and homophobia presented in the name of Christ, stop on by. Send me a message. I'll make sure that you're part of the discussion. I'll make sure your voice is heard by many other people. Take it easy. People from a very wide range, ethnically, genderly, religiously, very wide spectrum. And there was 7 people, which I did not expect that much. I mean, I just kept adding calls. I just kept adding conference calls. It got so full, I think a hydra is a therion. But a hydra, once one of the heads gets struck off, 2 more grow back. Which I was absolutely stunned. I thought I'd get maybe 2. I thought I'd get 1. It would be me and another idiot talking. Although none of the people who were on there were idiots by any stretch of the imagination. We had people. I wonder if I should call this Therion Rising or the Hydra Rising. As you might know, Therion means beast, like the beast of Revelation. I think a couple people didn't even make it in. Some people tried to sidetrack it or inadvertently sidetracked into other things. But here is the thing. This will be part of my campaign. This will be a video that's part of the My Campaign series. We had the first just meeting of talking about it. I already laid out the criteria to show no. Vitriolic hatred in the name of Christ has nothing to do with Christianity. And for those who love to quote the Old Testament, the New Testament destroys the Old Testament. And there's countless verses that show that we're to meet people with